tag us so we can repost it. Oh, it's live.
I'm going live.
Awesome.
See if it works.
It's live.
Okay. Let's go. We're live. Yay, on YouTube. Yes. And we are live here with Margo from Margo
Margo.
Florals. Well, we call her Marina, right? Marina.
Marina is my real name. So the reason I chose the name Margo is my full name is Marina Gorbat. I've always loved the name Margo. When I was a child, I wanted to change my name to Margo. So it's kind of like worked Margo, Marina Gorbat, and it's easier for people to remember, a little more catchy. So that's the choice. That's why I did it.
Yay. Okay, awesome. So let's hear more about Marina, Margo. Lorena, you want to introduce our guest?
Yes. So, Marina, the funny story about Marina is that she's both our clients. And we met her for long time ago. And well, Janelle knows her more than I do. And every time I go into this dance studio, I see these beautiful flower arrangements. And I was like, who does this? And then Marina one day, she's like, well, that's my business. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Margo Florals was established in 2017. She's an owner, designer, entrepreneur, woman owned. She custom designs chic, timeless works of art using fresh and preserved and artificial flowers and like the highest quality, because she's given me some flowers and they lasted longer than any flowers I buy in Trader Joe's or Whole Foods anywhere. She designs large section of containers, flower wrapping paper, vases, and flower vases. Margo creates anything that you like, masterpiece, anything that you require or vision. And I've seen her arrangements; they're beautiful. And yeah, so we invited her because we figured this is inspired talk, worthy women entrepreneur, and she's also our Pilates student. So we'd love to hear more about how you started.
Yeah. So, background, I actually have a master's in healthcare administration. I'm state and federally licensed nursing home administrator, but I am an only child and a daughter. And it was like my parents immigrated from Soviet Union, and I did too. I was 9 years old when we immigrated to America, and been here for almost 30 years. Tells you my age. But I actually gave that paper. I got my license. I gave that paper to my parents. I said, congratulations, here you go. Your child did what you wanted her to do. Now let me live my life and enjoy what I'm doing. I'm very fortunate that I have a partner in life. My husband has a good career where I can do what I love. And because I'm doing what I love and I'm hustling, and I'm trying to, do as much as I can, it's grown into a successful business. So I started doing it. I actually used to help a friend who had a flower shop, and she was like, oh, I have to run an errand. She's like, if anybody comes in, just make something. And I just fell in love with it, and I knew it was something I wanted to do. Then I had a friend who asked me to help her with her baby shower. That was 2017, May of 2017. And I said, sure. And I just did it at cost. And I posted pictures, and everybody's like, you have to do this. Like, color, coordination, you have such good taste. This is what you have to do. And it just flourished. And 4 years later, almost 5 years later, I never looked back. I'm happier than I've ever been. And it just gives me peace. Even, in the darkest day, God forbid somebody has lost a significant other, and I bring them something for sympathy, just say the worst case. I put a smile on their face for that moment. So I get to bring joy to people. And that's the biggest, reward that you can get, is giving joy to people and making yourself happy by doing what you love. So that's
awesome. Yes. And we didn't all, we didn't know that in the beginning. We were just like, oh, here's our nice client, and then when you started telling us about your business, we're like, what? And
Yeah.
then you showed us all the beautiful pictures, and you were just so astounded. That was before COVID hit,
Yeah.
even, right?
Yeah, it was before COVID hit. Before COVID hit, I was doing a lot of promotional stuff, trying to, sending free flowers to like influencers and celebrities and trying to get my word out there. Everything right now is social media. So if you can get your name out there, you're doing one part of it. And then after when COVID hit, it was really hard. Like the flower market closed down for a few months. Nothing was coming in, and I was in such a depressive state that I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. And, now when things opened up, it's gotten a lot better.
And the good thing is the story behind it. You passed that test and you've accomplished so much.
Kids with a little child, I would put him down at 10 p.m. and study
Wow.
3 in the morning every day for 2 months straight. But nobody will take that away from me. God forbid,
Right.
worst case scenario, nobody will ever take that away. I have something to fall back on, but I get to do what I love. I would be miserable, especially with COVID, working in a nursing home, being a director of a nursing home, especially with everything that's going on, to lose a patient or to have family go through that. Like, I'm very sensitive. I'm an empath. I take everything in, and it would just be, I would be great in medical, like actual medical profession, because I'm not afraid of blood or anything, but because being so emotional, if a life is lost, I would not be able to handle it. So it would be horrible if that were the case.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and that's a good point of view. Like always have something to back up, a good backup, and but at the end of the day, you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
So, well, our first question is like just so you told us a little bit of your story and how you got started. Tell us something that you wish you knew before you started, like before you started the flower business, because some people
Sorry, I have to
have that
record.
oh have
Have to
that
record.
they have that dream, but
Yeah.
they don't know how, like, what was something that you wish that you knew before you started? I know there's going to be a lot of things that
Yeah,
people,
I
but
think the biggest thing is know your worth. We doubt ourselves a lot of, especially with charging. I know my prices are very fair to what I provide, because for me, unlike saying a brick, and I work from home, so I work in my garage. I made my garage. I have a flower fridge. I have a space to work. Because I can do that, I can give better prices to people. What I do compared to others, say you go to a flower shop and you pick a few flowers of this, a few flowers of this, and it's so much. With me, you're paying, say I have a minimum price that I charge, but a person's getting much more because I use that whole, like I buy a bunch of roses, say one bunch is 2 dozen roses. You're getting that full one bunch. You're getting all of the flowers in the bunch. So you're getting actually a lot more for your money. And I think going back to the question is that I now know what I'm worth. I should have known that starting off, especially like not having the educational experience of being a florist and having the background. Yeah, I took some classes with some very influential florists, but it's scary, especially as a woman, as a young woman who not been in this business. It's scary, and you would like, am I charging too much? Should I give more discount? And now when people like, well, can you do this for this price? I'm like, no, because I know what I'm giving. I know the quality that I provide. I only get the freshest, highest quality. You're talking about grocery store and all of that, the compared. So grocery store, depending, usually like Gelson's and Bristol, they get like really high quality flowers, like what florists get. Trader Joe's and other ones, they'll get smaller grade flowers. There's grade A, grade B, grade C. I always try to get grade A. I pick the flower myself. I prep the flower myself. I arrange it and I deliver it myself. So you're dealing with one person who is putting, that together. I also would never make something that I would not want to receive myself. There are times that I've made an arrangement and I step back and I'm like, no. I literally would take the whole thing apart and remake the arrangement until I was personally happy. So knowing your worth, knowing that you are worth what that person is paying, what they're getting. That is the biggest takeaway. I was not like that in the beginning. I am now. So yeah, that's something that I wish I knew before.
That is so important. I think for all our listeners and for everybody, even for us, Janelle, and for us to listen, know your worth, right? Janelle? Oh, she's,
I was moving my cursor around and I pressed unmute, I thought.
oh,
Anyway, I was saying yes to all of that.
yeah. You want to
Just
go
that
on
we
the
can
next?
learn so much from that takeaway for sure, because we are all kind of our own business, even as being entertainers, dancers, and stuff like that, Pilates instructors, and we do that. Okay, so our next question. Okay, so what do you wish you would have known before you started your business? Was there something like you wish you would have known before that you struggled with in the beginning, other than like knowing your worth and the rates and stuff like that? Was there something specifically about flowers and arrangements and something that you can talk about there?
Yeah, I think important thing is flowers that are seasonal versus non-seasonal. There are difference in prices for flowers that are in season. Like say, there are a lot of people who love lilac and peonies and specific kind of flowers that are only available, like ranunculus, that are available during a specific season. I know I'm saying these words of flowers, but there's people who are going to be viewing who I love those flowers and will know. So like say during non-season, one stem of a peony wholesale is $7 a stem. During season, which is like say for peonies example, again, it's $3 to $4 wholesale a stem. I mean, there's a big difference. And also you have to notify the client. I have clients who are like, oh, I want this. And I'm like, okay, it'll be this much. And I ended up eating the cost of it because in the beginning, I didn't know that. Also, another thing was technique to the actual, of how to, what tools to use in the arrangement, or what tools to use to say something like this that is more free flowing versus the pave that's more rounded. You have to use different tools, different supplies that are needed to make that. That was a learning process that I didn't know before.
Yeah, no, that arrangement behind you is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes,
Just for the show, for you guys.
Yeah, I love
it's
it.
so pretty. A very spring. I love the pinks and the pastels for Easter, right? Coming up. I'm sure you have a lot of those coming up for
Mother's Day is going to be big. It always is. But to your viewers, if they want to place an order, please do it as soon as possible, because I fill up. Again, I was telling you, I am the one who picks, I am the one who buys, I'm the one who makes, delivers as well. So, the sooner I know, the more time I have to prep and to be able to order the fresh flowers instead of getting what's available last minute.
And you're a one woman shop. Like also you have kids that do sports, and your wife, and you have, it's a lot that you're doing. So that's amazing that you could do all of that. As we could, everybody
can do it all.
Right.
Just not at all at one time.
No. My husband, really funny story. My husband, I spoke out loud of logic of what a woman's mind goes through for a scenario. And he's like, oh my God. I'm like, welcome to a woman's brain. This is literally what we go through when we, something doesn't work out the way we want it to. It's like, tick, 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 like every possible scenario. He's like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, you guys have it easy. So it's not just actually doing it. It's what could actually happen if you make one choice versus another.
Yeah, no, we have, I think our as a woman, like we have so many different ideas, and like, oh, it could go this way, it could go that way, it could be like this, it could be like that, and we could drive ourselves crazy sometimes.
Right, so many hats that we wear.
Yeah, but we make it happen.
We do.
What resources do you recommend people that want to start what you are starting, like your job, like your business?
Resource I would say probably definitely go a couple of times if you wherever there's different cities have different flower markets. Like we have Los Angeles flower market, San Francisco has one, San Jose has one, whatever. They're all over, the United States of America, there are flower markets. Go and just browse. Go ask to see what prices are, just so you are aware of what you're getting into. Go look at quality. I always talk about quality. It's not just the flower. When you look at a quality of something, of you're holding a stem, you're looking at the quality of the stem. You're looking at the quality of the leaves, of the freshness. If you take a rose, like going to the supermarket, I have no problem. I always tell people, if it's last minute, you don't have time, go to the supermarket, but make sure the stem is green and nice. Make sure there's a lot of healthy leaves on that stem, that it's a fresh, that's how you know. If you're getting a bouquet from the grocery store and there's not a lot of leaves on there, that means it's been there for a long time, that those leaves are bad, that flower is old, and they removed it purposely so you don't see how not fresh it is. If you have friends who are doing small events, I encourage people to ask, you know what, I would love to help you out. I would love to do it at cost. So you're not taking money out of your own pocket to do it. They're covering your costs, but at least you're getting some experience and you're seeing how to put things together. So those are some tips that I would give. It doesn't hurt to, I've reached out to, there are very influential florists who've been in the business for 20, 30 years. Reach out to them, ask if they're offering any classes. There are times that it's like a couple $100, but it's like, say, a 4 or 5 hour class, and they will show you that technique. They will explain the color wheel and what colors work together and all of that. So there are a lot of resources. It doesn't hurt to ask. So I would say, tell people, you won't know until you ask. What if the person says, yeah, sure, why don't you come volunteer for a day or two? Or if they're doing a big event, say you want to get into, I'm not a big event kind of person, like big weddings and stuff. I tend to like more intimate, medium-sized events because I can fully give myself and what I'm capable of to that. But say a person wants to get into a big event, call a couple of florists and say, I'd like to volunteer, or I would like to, help you out as an assistant. You're gaining experience. If you don't ask, you're not going to know. So what if they say yes and it works out and it can, it can start your business into the right path? So that's my tips that I would give.
No, very, very helpful. Very helpful. I think a lot of people just seem to, not follow their gut. And I think you did. You saw you because it's like when you were little, you didn't think yourself being a florist, right?
Never, not until in I want to say probably mid to late 20s. So
So and then you saw something, you're like, hey, I'm good at this.
yeah,
Hey, I kind of like this.
yeah,
Hey, I think this is my passion.
yeah,
And then you went for it. And then I think in all these researchers that you said about asking questions, doing the thing before you jump straight and commit yourself, try it out, see if it works for you,
yeah, exactly.
before you go full throttle and spend all this money and
Yeah.
then decide, hey,
Right.
this is not for me, right, Janelle?
Yeah, and just learning from people that have gone before you, that have done the work already. You don't want to like reinvent the wheel here. You want to learn from those that have succeeded and are, 2 steps ahead of you always, right? Because you want to be able to learn from those people so that, then
And
you can pass it on, and be there for the next person. So
I
that's how we feel with Pilates too.
Yeah, I also think another thing is that a lot of florists nowadays, I follow a lot of florists on social media. They're used to a specific style of doing flowers. And I think that is beautiful and it's stunning. But have more variety, get comfortable, practice doing all types of flower arrangements, all types of styles, because then you're able to have a bigger audience and to be able to market yourself to more people.
Right. Not staying in like one, like niching yourself
Style,
too much into one style.
yeah.
That's how we are with dance as well. Yeah.
Again,
Lorena
No,
knows.
if the wheel works, don't, fix something that isn't broken too, because if you're really good at something, be good at that, but also
right.
don't be so close-minded that somebody's going to come to you and say, I want this, and you say, no, I don't want to do that because that's my style. You're losing a client. You're losing a potential of something bigger, and you may not know it or realize it, because sometimes that's not necessarily saying, no, I don't want to do that style because that's not what I do. That's also a fear that you may have, that you might not be good at it. But until you try it, you don't know. What if you're amazing in all styles?
Right. And what style would you say, like, because you do all styles, so
Everything.
you're just, yeah, okay. I wouldn't know. We wouldn't know otherwise. We're like, what?
Yeah, I do everything. My issue right now is that I'm seeing, and it's absolutely no judgment or no criticism to anyone else. But I'm seeing a lot of, they have a vase and there's like one flower of this, one of this, and one of this, and it's very bare. Like, that's something that I just choose not to do, because I want to be able to give more to people. It's not that I don't love it. I think the style is beautiful, but it's just not me. I can do it. There's no problem of doing it. But I feel like I would be giving the client a disadvantage of charging a higher price for less. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, always over deliver.
Over deliver. That's
I do.
awesome. I wanted to ask you also, what's the different things that you offer? I know you said the real flower, like the real flowers, the artificial flowers. Can you explain the different things that you offer in your business?
Sure. So I work with different suppliers for containers, for vases, for paper, for all that. That is something that I buy. I don't necessarily make myself. I mean, I can custom make, like if somebody wants a vase in a specific color, I can always spray it, or I can always, modify it to make that color. In terms of flowers, I do pretty much everything. Preserved, which is like the everlasting roses that are really popular right now. Palm, a lot of preserved stuff like the Italian ruscus and palm and all of that. So fresh, preserved. I do a lot of artificial. I do a lot of home decor, actually. So people say they want, I only buy the best quality. So a person wants an orchid arrangement. I actually get the best quality artificial orchids that look like a real orchid. And a person says, oh, I'm paying so much money, I'm tired of the maintenance and the upkeep of replacing the real orchids, so I can make them an artificial orchid arrangement with fake succulents, with birch wood, with a specific container that they want that matches their decor. And if the first cost is more than a real one, but in the end, when you consider how many times you're replacing those, you end up saving money in the end. So, a lot of home decor I do. I don't necessarily get like large size planters. That's not something that I do, because that's more of a decor item, the actual planter. But I can make artificial flowers in the planter that the client chooses to purchase. So pretty much everything, artificial trees that I can get. I mean, anything, yeah.
Wow. No, yeah, because I remember seeing one of your clients that I think the flowers, the arrangements that you did, it can last up to how many years?
Well, so the thing with the preserved roses, the everlasting roses that are sold, like, different companies that specialize in it, they say about a year to 2 years, but it could last longer. The point of it is no direct sunlight, no moisture, and no touching, because the more you touch something, let me just show you, like something like this, the more you touch it, because it's been bleached and preserved, it has a crinkling feel. So the more you touch it, it's like basically burnt paper that when you touch it, that ash will fall apart. So having a knowing how to, I always advise my clients of how to take care of what I provide to them, have it be preserved. If they take care of it, if they use like a feather duster, or if they, nothing like to actually wash something like that, it will last longer. For example, fresh flowers. When I deliver an arrangement that's fresh flowers, I provide a little card with my information on one side. The other side is care instructions. So they actually have, to, like, fresh flowers, make sure there's enough water, change the water every couple of days to fresh water, cut the stem on a diagonal. So if you're looking, you don't want to cut it straight across, you want to cut it in an angle, diagonal, so that there's more space for that flower to drink up water. So those are tips that are useful when people are, receiving an arrangement from me, so that I provide myself.
And I remember those because you told me my sunflowers change the water every day. And I was like, oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Another thing,
sorry to cut you off. Another thing I want to say that will help a person, when you're putting flowers in a vase, make sure there's no leaves. Make sure there's no actually leaves and foliage that are touching that water, because as leaves rot, they will rot the water, making flower die faster.
That's why my flowers die. Yeah, no, seriously.
Oh,
I have no green thumb whatsoever. Every time someone gives me something, like there's only one time that I made it, like I made a orchid live for longer than I thought I could.
I can give you on that too.
Yeah, because orchids are really delicate, but they can last a long time if you take care of them. Because Paolo always had orchids in his studio, and I was always just like in awe of them, because
now who do you think brought the orchids in?
Of course it was you. Of course it was.
Now it makes sense. Oh my God, those orchids were gorgeous.
They were.
I remember looking at them, I'm like,
they thrived.
Yeah, they survived.
I've never seen them like wilt or whatever. Like they were always so perfect.
It's the space, it's the environment, it's how you take care of it. With orchids, you don't want to put them on direct sunlight. You want to make sure they get natural light, but not directly on them. You want to make sure with any flower that it's not too hot. I have clients who call me and they're like, oh, my flowers are wilting after a day or two. And I'm like, well, I know it's not the quality. Maybe it's too hot in your space. Maybe it's getting too much heat. Maybe you check the vase. Maybe there's no water and maybe they drank all that.
Yeah, especially now. It's so hot in the valley. We're like in the hundreds,
Exactly. With orchids, the best thing for watering is to put 2 to 3 ice cubes, not on the leaf, not on the actual leaf, but right at the base of that plant, the root. About 2 to 3 ice cubes a week. It'll last you longer. Keep them away out of direct sunlight and not too hot. That's really it. And if they don't like a specific spot, if you see that they're starting to go, move them to a different spot. See how they do that. That way you'll figure out where your orchids will last longer.
Exactly. I should have done that.
Yeah, I do know that. So that's how I got them to live pretty long. So that's good.
We like to do this thing. It's just like really quick. These questions, they're just 5 random questions just to learn a little more about you. We know some things about you, but we just some quick 5 questions. And they can be fast answers. It doesn't have to be a long answer.
Yeah. One sentence, 2 sentences, something quick. Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is, if you had one book that you could read for the rest of your life and reread and reread, which would it be?
I forgot the name. I read it a long time ago. High school. I'm not honestly not a big reader, to be honest with you. I remember it. It was like Water for Chocolate.
I like that book. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Classic.
That's a classic. Okay. Water for chocolate. Okay. I like that.
Okay. So second question. Let's see. What do you do for your morning routine? Like, is like we want to know what Margo does. What Marina does.
Usually I don't look all put together, honestly. My routine clothes is literally leggings and a t-shirt. I'm a huge Lululemon girl because that's really what I wear for work. Routine is just, skincare routine. Skincare is huge for me. So I, enjoy nice quality product. I do take care of my skin, making sure makeup is off the night before. Skincare is really important to me. So I won't miss that. But usually it's quick, get everybody ready, get everybody out of the house, go do my errands, go pick up flowers and do whatever else. It's usually really quick. But the one thing that I won't skip on is skincare.
Is there like a specific brand of skincare that you like will not live without?
I do like SkinCeuticals. I've noticed it does well for me. I'm a big vitamin C serum girl. Vichy has a really nice eye cream that I like. It's like this light blue bottle and it's sold at Target. So it's really affordable and it's a really good one. I really like it. Skincare, other than I do have like hyperpigmentation and stuff like that, and I have freckles everywhere. So SPF is super important. High quality SkinCeuticals has a really nice SPF. I really got into Ilia tinted moisturizer with SPF. That's actually what I have right now. That's what I use when I have to. It's very light. It has SPF in it, and it just gives you like a really pretty glow to your skin. But other than that, for like my problem stuff, I usually go to a dermatologist and get stuff from them because I know they will recommend what's right for me.
Right, smart.
No, yeah, your face is glowing, and always, every time I teach you, it's like flawless. So keeping it consistent and having a good routine is keeping you top of mind.
Your skin is your biggest organ, so you have
to
love it. It's if you look good, you'll feel good. So that's how I see it.
Yep.
100%. Okay. Next, what if you had one chance to have dinner with your favorite person or somebody that you admire or you look up to, life or dead, who would it be? And it would be two people that you will invite to this dinner.
Yeah. Let me see. Can it be someone in the family if it's someone who passed? So I was very close with my grandfather. He passed away 12 years ago. He was my heart. He was everything to me. He knew all my secrets. I knew all of his. So I would definitely love to have dinner with him and talk and thank him for my son because I could not get pregnant for a while. And I know that my son is reincarnation of my grandfather. So I would definitely just thank him for blessing me with this child. And another person, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, it's just there's nobody. I look up to a lot of people, but I don't know. No one else comes to mind.
Well,
nothing else compares to your grandfather.
Yeah,
that's
beautiful.
so special. That's so special. Not everyone has that relationship with theirs. So the fact that you had that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Next one. What would be okay? I know there's that book. I think Kat was talking about this book about the last song you would listen to before you die, and I guess there's this book, Last Song, and I guess they went around and talked to celebrities about this. But what would be your last song?
Oh, I love old music. I can't. It's a song that comes to mind that I think I grew up with. Anything from ABBA. I love ABBA. I grew up with ABBA. So anything, Dancing Queen or Mamma Mia or
Love it.
anything from ABBA.
ABBA.
And my daughter, who's 15, who is totally different generation, different music, she
She
likes
loves it.
ABBA. Yeah.
Yeah, music spans, like all generations. Like there's
Yeah.
always,
There was something in the air that night.
That's right.
Ferdinand. I love ABBA. I wish I could sing because I would just be singing all their songs all the time. Oh, next booty bar class, I will put ABBA
Okay.
for
All right.
you.
Hey, there you go. There's your song. There you go. It's nice to have those song choices or lists. You can like start up a
Yeah,
list there, Lorena, for your
for
class.
Marina.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Marina, for all this education, all this information about the flower business, because for sure we did not know half of the stuff that you told us.
Yeah.
Not to touch the flowers, how to cut them, how to keep them alive, and what it takes to run a flower business from home, and being probably you're the florist, the deliver it, you make the orders, you have everything in one shop. What is it called? How do you say it? One stop shop.
Stop.
Yeah, you're a one stop shop.
My brick
So it was
orders at home. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's amazing to hear your story, and thank you so much for talking to us
Yeah.
and to giving us Inspire Talks, another great episode.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate you taking time to interview me. I really do.
Yes. And we would like to also just repeat, like, where can we find you? Where can people contact you if there's any discounts or deals that you're having right now for spring? I'm sure our listeners would love to hear about that, because there's people out there that are event planners that are planning weddings, and who knows what they're planning, and how you can help with that.
Yeah, definitely. I do work with event planners and people who, I have a huge list of resources that people, when they come to me, that they can utilize. But you can find me. I do have an Instagram. It is Margo Florals, MargoFlorals. It's one word. You can look at some of my work. My cell phone is that I do put my cell phone on the bio. That is the best way to reach me. Text is usually best rather than DM, because I reply faster. I don't always get it. Reception could be bad. So text is usually best. For spring, like for Mother's Day, I'm happy to do, Mother's Day pricing, or when it's Valentine's, Mother's Day, it is a higher cost to us, but I'm happy to give a 50% discount off of delivery,
Wow.
off of delivery service. So usually I charge 25 for delivering the valley and 50 for the west side. So I can do 12 for the valley and 25 for the west side. But that would be through Mother's Day. So if anybody would like to order, I'm happy to take care of them. And you're getting much more than any flower. I can't say any, speak for myself, but I know that I give the most. I make what I would want to receive. I'd rather put more than less and have the client come back and know that they're getting a really high quality product. If a client's not happy, say that it truly is a bad product. That very rarely happens, but say it's a bad product, I'm happy to remake it, or I'm happy. Customer service is very important to me, and I pride myself on quality, making sure the client is happy, and I retain them for a long time.
Awesome. So thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank
That's
you.
a great deal. 50%
That
on
is a
delivery,
big
guys.
deal. 50%.
On delivery. So please reach out to her, and can't wait to hear, an update later on. We'll have you back on the show and see how your business is going. And thank you so much for your time and your energy. Thank you, Marina. Thank you, everyone.